and welcome to the HeartWorking Dad podcast. I'm your host, Gabriel Perez, and this is the podcast for Christian fathers looking to do the hard work of HeartWork. And the purpose of HeartWork is so that we can practically and spiritually be better leaders for our family. And I am your host, Gabriel Perez. I have been with my wife for 19 years. We have 3 kids. We both work full-time jobs, and we partner together in homeschooling our kids. And in addition to that, I am a certified biblical parenting coach. All right, let's jump into this episode. I really want to do a series, and this is the start of that series, on 1 Timothy chapter 3. And it's titled Leaders in the Church. But I find that we as fathers, as husbands, are leaders in the home. We are priests of our home. And so even though you're not a leader in a church, you are still a leader of a church. And that church is your home. That ministry is your home. And they talk about some of the qualifications, and it really hits me in the heart, because these are things that I need to work on to get better, to be a better leader, to be a better example for my family. And it's almost a guidebook. Like, these are the things as men we should be striving for in our homes. And so the first one I want to talk about is having a good reputation. And we can look at having a good reputation as easily as just, what do people say about you? What do people say when you go out into the church community, when you go to your job, when you go out with your friends or your family? Like, yes, they will say things about you that is important. But I want to take it a step further and say, what does your wife and kids say about you? I think a good reputation starts in the home. A good reputation starts not outside of the home. Because when we start with the home, it grows to outside the home. When we have a good reputation in the home, we will have a good reputation outside the home. Because there is no fooling your wife and your kids. They see you when you have bad days. They see you when you have good days. They see you when you're patient. They see you when you're not patient. They see you when you're doing well and when you're overwhelmed. You can't fool your family. And if you are fooling your family, that's not a good thing either. But let's just get back to the reality. But having a good reputation in the home. So we have to ask ourselves some questions. What does our wife think about our leadership? How am I leading my wife? How am I spiritually leading my wife? How am I meeting the needs of my home? My kids. How are you shepherding your kids? How are you spending time with them? Do they get scared when you come home, or do they run up to you and give you hugs when you come home? Are they scared to talk to you? Are they hesitant to be honest with you? Or are they open with you? Do they love to give hugs? Do they not? These are things that we have to know what kind of presence we are bringing in when I get into the home. And this is a funny story, but it's something I have to take in. When I come home from work, and it's kind of humiliating, but when I come home, my 2 oldest kids will hide. They'll run and hide, and my in-laws will be there, and they're like, "What do you do to these kids?" And the truth is, I don't come home, I don't beat them, or anything like that. But when I come home, they know, dang, I got to do homeschool, or I got to clean up. Like, they know, like, oh, Dad's here, it's time to get busy. Because we homeschool our kids, we have things set in place for them to do throughout the day, so that they just don't watch TV all day, that they have things that they need to do. And when they come home, they know I'm going to be the inspector and enforcer of those things. So it does kind of break my heart that I'm not greeted at the door with hugs. I mean, my little guy does, because he doesn't have much expectation at this point. He's 3. I can't expect that he's going to be doing a whole lot. But the other kids run. But it's not out of like fear. They always laugh. We always smile. But it's just they know when I come home, oh, we got to get to work. We're going to do homeschool now. And that's probably the biggest idea, is that they don't want to do school at this point. But what happens when you come in the home? Are you greeted? Are you just ignored? And, these are things that can really hurt us. They can hurt our hearts, because I don't think as fathers or as husbands we want to be ignored when we walk through the door. But it's also valuable insight into how we could, how we're lacking in certain areas, how maybe we need to step up and fulfill some of these needs that our home has. Because it's very easy for us to have a good reputation at work. At my job, I can't lose my cool. At my job, I have to perform certain things. When I come home, there's things I don't have to do. There's things that I can kind of say, like, I'll let it slide, or it's not that important right now, but it is. Because we want to have a good reputation in our home. And I believe when we start there, the rest falls into place. You don't even have to think about the outside world. Because in your home, if you're doing all the things that matter, if you're building connection and relationship, and you're serving your family in the right way, not as a servant, not as this guy who's just doing everything and like, yeah, I'm the guy who fixes Mr. Clean, but the guy who serves his home the way it needs to be. That is what I'm talking about. So my challenge for you is to think and just ask yourself, how am I showing up in the home? What is my reputation in the home? Maybe even ask your kids, hey, what do you think of the way I'm showing up for you at home? What would you like more from me? I know if I ask that to my kids, I don't even have to ask them. I know they want more connection time. I need to find more time to connect with them. And so it's asking us these questions, maybe asking your family these questions so that we can answer these things, so that we can start to build that relationship in the home. And so my encouragement to you is, this is not an overnight thing. This is not, boom, I have a great reputation. It's a process. We're going to fall down. But the great thing about our families is, even though they've seen us at our worst, there is still love there. They still love you, and there's still opportunity to fix it. There's still opportunity to move forward. We don't look to the past. We look forward to the things with hope. And so don't get caught up in what you haven't done, but just know that tomorrow is a new day for you to step up and have a good reputation in your home with your family, so that it carries to the outside world. So that's my episode for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you enjoy this podcast, please leave a rating, a review. It would really help. You could also, if you're feeling led, share it. Share it with another dad who might want to be encouraged by this, who might be struggling in leading his home. I come from a background of struggling in that area. And this whole process, this whole journey has come from me having that struggle and just having to find a way out, having to walk with God. And so I really want to encourage other men in this journey, because I know the struggle. I know what it's like. It's not easy. And oftentimes we can feel alone. Oftentimes we can be isolated. So if this can help someone, please send it. That is always helpful. And if you want to connect, you can email me at the HeartWorkingDad@gmail.com. I finally have a good Instagram handle that I can remember, HeartWorking.dad, or you can find me there. And love to connect with you. And there is free resources if you go to the links at the Instagram. I have a HeartWorking Dad plan that I think can help you if you're looking for ways to structure your day to better lead your family. Thanks. Keep up the hard work of HeartWork. Catch you on the next episode.